channel. I am here with Margaret, who is going to teach us all about sort of getting ready hacks, because I had a couple of questions about how she shaves her legs, a couple of things about how she navigates putting her clothes away in the closet, so she'll talk a little bit about that. And then she has, just other things here that she's going to show that are little ways that she gets ready independently. So we'll start this.
I used to get my legs waxed, and I hated it. I get picky right away. I paid a lot of money, and I already have hair on my legs, so I just prefer to. I shave like every other day in the shower, and I have one. And put this into context. I have one good hand, sort of good hand, with some grip, and the other one none. So this may or may not work for every quad, but contrary to what you might think, the more blades the better.
Really?
So I get a razor blade that's got 5 blades. This is a Venus. It's made by Gillette, I think. And it's got like little moisturizing strips on the top and the bottom of the blade. So you don't have to mess around with any shaving cream or any of that. So it glides on the skin super nice. And I like I got the metal handle. Like, feel it. The heft is great. If you don't have a metal handle.
I like the metal
mine's
handle. Plastic. And I've dropped it so many freaking times because I don't have a good grip on it.
And I don't know why, but I feel like it's, as a person who doesn't have great hand function, to have something that has some
girth.
Heft is the only word I can think of to use. I have better control over it. Yeah. It's not as light and flimsy and floaty.
I don't know if you can, but I'm curious how you hold your leg up.
So I sit like Froggy style.
Oh, so you're
in the shower. I'm in the
cross-legged?
Yeah.
And you sit in the corner, right?
I could probably get on there with my pants on and show y'all.
It might be helpful.
Yeah.
It might be helpful.
We'll cut to that.
Yeah, we'll cut to that.
I don't shave my armpits. I actually epilate my armpits because I don't like pokey hairs in my armpits.
What's
epilate? It sounds a lot worse than it is. It's like 1,000 tweezers going around an axle many times a second, and it literally just tweezes the hair out.
Really?
So, and yeah.
But do you have to wait till your hair is grown?
No. It's like, it gets to be like 1/8 of an inch, and you can pick, not even 1/16 of an inch, and you can pick that hair up, and it's, because it's tearing it out by the root, it comes in soft. So when you're shaving it, it doesn't come in soft, right? It's blunt ends. And the more you do it, the less hair comes in. I fully recommend laser if you have the time and the money to go do it. I want to say my investment was probably $500.
Really? That's it?
Yeah, and like you think about if you go to places and get your waxing done all the time, or it's like $100 easily every time you get waxed.
I'm always curious because like when I first met Joe, that's like a funny story, but like when I first met Joe, I didn't shave at all, and I had like the longest, like it was like terrible. It was like a forest, and Joe was just kind of like, I remember him not saying a thing. I remember him not saying anything, but then after we were both like, he's like, I can help you with this, you know, and then I was like, okay, sure, and then it became easier to calf. And then I was like, now I'm like, if there's any hair down there, I'm like, this is annoying. But it was really funny because I have some hidden videos that I watched once and I was like, whoa.
You've got some blue chicken wow 70s
going on. It was like crazy. It was like hilarious.
Well, do you know what's funny? The first time I did a bikini wax was because I was I was taking scuba lessons at a pool, and I had my scuba instructor help me pull my wetsuit off, which was fine. That nothing nasty happened except I'm laying on the deck of the pool and I'm hanging on to, I don't even know what I was hanging on to, while they're like turning the wetsuit inside out and pulling it off my body, and I'm cold, and maybe like the swimsuit is sort of like pulled away from my body a little bit. And like I have blood, I looked down my body and I'm like, holy shit, there's bush happening there. So that was the first time I went and did bikini wax. So you start, it's like it's a gateway. You remove a little hair and you're like, oh, that's kind of nice.
Yeah, I don't know how
to do a little more.
Yeah,
and full support for whatever grooming style you like.
Whatever or none.
I like smooth for me.
Me too.
It makes things cleaner easier for capping.
Cleaner for cleaning poop up.
I was gonna say if I have a bowel accident, it's
like,
a lot
it's
easier.
just, who wants to be cleaning poop off of hair? No.
Yeah. So yeah, so I got the laser done and it kills the hair follicle, or at least weakens it severely. So then all that's left is vellus hair, which is these hairs, the little babies. And then the odd one, the odd like coarse bastard that won't die.
Pops through. It's
Yeah,
like,
and gives
you didn't get me.
Yeah, and then in the spots where I sit very prominently on my sitting bones, the hair follicles have become
Tough.
strong again, and they does make their way back, but like, I don't know, I do this maybe twice a month, maybe once a month.
Okay, so Epilator, laser for the box,
Laser for the box,
aka vulva,
yeah,
and the Venus razor for the legs.
Yep.
Alrighty, what's next?
Scrubbing dead skin off and giving your back a good scrub in the shower.
See, this is bad. I never wash my back. Like the worst. It's probably so gross.
But don't you get an itchy?
I can't feel all the way up to my neck, like my skin.
Oh God, good for you.
I can't feel.
Because I generally during the day can't scratch it, right? So I love this. This is, you can find, like, you can just put your search terms into Amazon or Google or anywhere. You can probably get it at,
What's it called?
I don't know. It's a back scrubber with handles, a body exfoliator. That's probably what it is, body exfoliator. But it's rough.
Oh, yeah.
If you do use if you do use a body cleanser, it'll suds up.
Like a loofah.
Yeah, I don't tend to use a body cleanser all that often, but yeah, so I mean, it's great if you don't have great hand function. I love it because I can get at the neck, but I can also get this thing around me, get it around an elbow, and then get like in between your shoulder blades, and then you can really
Everybody's gonna be like,
scratch your skin, and oh yeah, dry or wet.
please put in the comments if I'm not the only one that barely ever washes her legs and her back.
And you don't get dry skin.
I do get dry skin a little bit on some places, like right on the bottom down here. I'm trying to think of if I have
Like I
dry skin.
find on my feet and legs, I can generally manage the dry skin and toes
Not really.
with a towel. Like after
when I'm drying off, I think it comes off on the towel, but I'm like, I'm pretty bad. So now everybody thinks I'm a nasty, gross person, but I'm all about like, don't disturb that skin microbiome.
Yeah, fair enough. My skin and my back, and then like my flanks get dry.
Yeah, see, I'm more
dry
like
and
here.
flaky.
This area here, sweaty and
I
stuff.
thought about scrub.
I'm always like, I'll scrub there.
Yeah, as a quad, hanging onto a heavier or bigger blow dryer is a bit of a bugger. So I always use a travel blow dryer. It's lighter, easier to pack away in the cupboard. I can hang on with my not so awesome.
Where did you get this thing?
I got that on Amazon.
What?
And you can.
Like, is that just like anybody can, like, it's not for people with disabilities?
It is.
Oh, but
it is, and you get them in a pack of like, I don't know, 6 or 7. I think the first time I got them, they were from England, and it's the same brand.
You can put it on anything, like a knife or anything?
Yep. And
cool.
So, yeah, so I'll either just like
do
do hand styling,
do a mock,
or I'll hang on with my good hand with this one, and then get the blow dryer and the brush and I'll let go, hang on. Usually the blow dryer is already running because I've forgotten to put this on first and now it's burning me. So
that's funny.
Pick it up again, and then so doing my thing.
That seems pretty yeah. How do you wrap this thing around?
So this is my hack for, I hate having cords all over, and I find as a quad I could just let go, but then it's even more piss off to deploy it or put it together or get it going again because I gotta untangle it. So I always like to keep things kind of tidied. This is an elastic hairband, so the only thing that makes it different from a regular elastic is it's big. So I get my thing sort of where I want it to be, all trussed up. And again, I know everybody's gonna complain, so you got one good hand, you're no good, you're no quad. Well, I am what I am, and I'm showing you what I can show you.
Yeah.
So what I do is I get this around my not very good hand.
My phone. Hang on. Okay,
So
so
I
she's
get
going
this-
with the thing now.
I get this around my not so good hand, and I put it around the thing I want to
Oh, you use your
truss up,
wrist.
and I use my wrist.
So that's why you use such a big one.
Yeah, so I have lots of room. Oh, that's gonna make me into a big wire. And then of course it springs back enough that it holds it in place.
So yeah, that was like this stuff like that. Where do you even get that giant elastic?
Shoppers Drug Mart.
Really?
You can get them in packs of.
Are there just like extra big
I think
ones?
you can get, yeah, you can get store brand. You can even get, and I have some. They're essentially the same. Just they're really big ponytail elastics for people with super thick hair. So
Oh.
it's like maybe 3/4 of the size of a hairband. They work for me. They were great to keep
That's
cords out of the way.
I always wonder how you like. Where did you find that? Where were you like, I'm gonna try this thing? Like, how do you come up with these things?
You know what? So I have, family friends will be like, oh, I'm gonna send you this. It's this cool thing. It's adapted. And I'll look at it and I'll be like, great. And I'll go to find it somewhere else. I'll be like, that's ridiculously expensive.
Oh, it's
But why wouldn't this work? And I feel like over 32 years, I've sort of gotten into the habit of being a problem solver
yeah.
and looking at something and seeing other things that I can do with it or use it.
Yeah. So you just go like, what is this adaptive thing trying to achieve, and what other things out in the world are doing that exact same thing but aren't
Well,
specifically
and
for
also
that?
easy to replace. Like,
Yeah.
like there's stuff that is, I'm sure they're gonna stop making these and then you're gonna have to figure it out again. And yeah, they make other universal cuffs. I don't tend to like them because they have Velcro closures on them, and they don't attach to your hand really nicely. I like the rubber on this. And you can customize sort of the size by moving it on the handle. So I like that.
Other question that I had is, do you put your earrings in by yourself?
Ha! Thank you. Yes, and I was going to show this necklace.
Yeah,
clasp
so
that I use.
the just little things like this that I don't know, so you guys probably don't know either.
I can't put in an earring with a regular back.
Oh, so you,
I have them I get them like this already, or I had, Paul gave me these many, many years ago, little diamonds, and I couldn't put them in, never wore them. And so I had them I took them to a jeweler, and I got them to put on what's called a lever back setting. And it's a little hook, and it's got a spring-loaded back on it, and
I'll do it up close after.
I'm able to, just watch now, I'm going to fail trying. Sometimes the post is a little different, or it just doesn't quite work right, so I will also hold it between two fingers.
Oh.
And then when I got to do that, I need to have like a mirror and stuff, but if I can put it between two fingers, then I just use the other hand to sort of hold my lobe in place. And just like capping, I just feel for the hole and then get the little thing to click.
Awesome. All right, necklaces.
I buy these on Etsy, and they're magnetic closures that just clip onto the end of your natural.
Like you just get somebody to clip them on.
Yeah, and then after that, I can put them on and off myself. This is actually a bracelet closure magnet. The ones they make for necklaces, they look like fishing lures, like they're really big. But I have tons of these. And the gal that I get them from is in Calgary, so I get them really quick.
Really? So magnetic
necklace
closures for, do you use that for bracelets and stuff too?
I don't wear bracelets because they get caught up in wheels and stuff. So if I do, I wear something that is about here that I can, is like a stick.
You're just like one side in your mouth for a sec.
Yeah. Oh, and then I get it all tangled up.
Brilliant.
And she's done.
See, look at that. Okay, so I think the last thing that was in that question was about the closet.
Yeah, so
let's talk about that.
Yeah, I do not have a special closet other than my hanging rods are lower. That is it.
Yeah.
And, you know, at the time that we renovated this house, so that was 20 years ago, they were just starting to come out with like pull down shelves and things like that. And at the time they were crude, heavy, and they took up a lot of space.
Probably expensive.
Expensive, and I don't know if they've come a long ways in terms of getting me where I want to be. I lose a lot of space. There's a lot of shit to fix if it gets loose and this and that other thing. I just know I haven't found I need it. I found other simpler ways around things.
Yeah. I'm not really sure who's out there using those things. I think they're a good idea in theory, but in practice I think that they're kind of a pain in the ass. The people that I've seen that have them, I don't feel like they're very useful for the amount of money that you have to spend for the item and the install. I just don't think they're worth it.
In other videos where we looked at my kitchen, I have the same sort of setup in my bedroom cabinets and cupboards, and yes, I'm very fortunate to have a big closet with cabinets. It's a lot of drawers, not a lot of things with doors, and I have cubby holes. I have a whole set of cubby holes that are open so you can see what's in them, and then stuff that's folded and stacked, and I have somebody in my life every day that helps me out to do those things that isn't my husband, but I also can put those things away and get at all those things myself too.
Yeah.
So
you make sure that you can do it independently if you want to.
Choice and independence.
Yeah.
But I can fully acknowledge somebody helps me with those tasks. And
do you have any other things?
I can't think of anything else off the top of my head.
I can't think of anything either. Like, this was mostly just like, you know, like the finishing, getting ready. Like, what do you do when you're like, have your clothes on and you want to, you know, do your hair and put your makeup on and get accessorized and things like that. And I think we answered all the questions. If you do have another question about anything that Margaret does or about a specific thing that you're wondering about, how she gets ready, just throw it in the comments and we'll try and address it in another video. I will have Margaret back here in a few weeks to do a video about life with a caregiver and what that kind of day in the life looks like. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time. Bye.